Hey guys, this is Vanessa. My podcast is Life Paranormal with me. Listen as I serve you all things spirit, paranormal, and unexplained. Join me every other Saturday as my guest host and I recount our own experiences that will perplex and utterly terrify you. Life Paranormal with me is available on all major platforms such as Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Join the Lifer fam by following me on Twitter at VLifeParanormal. Follow, like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you can always catch a ride on this spooky vibe.
You've had a doozy of a day.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
Welcome to the Horror Basement and Beyond with the Big Ball Buddies, Johnny and Jim Jam. I'm one of your hosts, Johnny. As always, we got Jim Jam here with us.
Jim Jam here.
Make sure you go follow us on TikTok, and you can watch this podcast on YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah.
And you can find it anywhere if you're
listening.
Yeah, if you're watching it, listening, you can find it wherever you want to find it at. It's on all, what is that called? Platforms.
But before we got on, Chad, you said something about TikTok, so go ahead and plug your TikTok.
Well, that's not a good intro. And on today,
Oh, my bad.
we have a guest with us, Mr. Chad Seitz, friend, Connooga colleague. We met him at Connooga. He's been on before. Yeah, Chad, how you doing, man?
Doing great. Excited about everything that's going on.
Yeah. Well, I would be too. You have a book out. So.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Chad about his book today. He's the author and illustrated by Angel Nichols.
That's right.
All right. I'm glad I pronounced that right. But Chad, go ahead. What's your TikTok? As we're
so I've been hearing from a lot of authors that TikTok is a good platform for writers, which I never would have guessed that, but apparently so. I'm just now learning the ropes with it, basically, but it's chadsides.author, and I've given away some books on the channel. Started doing some horror movie reviews lately. I just did a review of the new Resident Evil movie, and I go on kind of a rant that my wife thought was hilarious. So hopefully that'll be enjoyable there.
You talk about authors on TikTok. There's one guy that writes adult books. It's kind of like the book that you've written in a way, where he writes books that aren't for children, but they're like a kid style book. You know what I'm saying? The way that it's illustrated, but it's like, why does daddy beat me or something?
Oh, yikes. So
or something crazy. It may be not exactly that, but like he does those type of books. I mean, it's not exactly like yours, but it on that level of it's got artwork and I don't know about rhymes. I don't know. I wish I could. I should have looked that up, but I didn't, because that's how much research I did. I wasn't expecting to talk about it.
I didn't write mine with kids in mind, but I tried to keep it accessible to I guess maybe a PG-12 audience. I have some 12-year-old fans apparently. So that works.
Yeah, the guy that I'm talking about it's definitely rated R.
What was I about to say?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a take on the old kid books, but for adults. But The Nightmare After Christmas is Chad's book. We probably should have led with that. And there you go. Yes. It has amazing artwork in it. It's a fun book to read. It's the old the rhyming scheme. I don't know exactly what it's called. I'm not
Poetry.
Poetry?
Is it poetry?
Well, I mean, it's storytelling, but yeah, it's
Rhyming story.
Can be considered poetry. It's it's kind of the classic mythology version of poetry, I guess, where it's it rhymes and all that, but it's a story in essence. And I thought it was a good place to start for launching into storytelling, because my original success with writing was as a poet. Won a handful of awards. My first book was a poetry book. Been published in numerous newspapers, magazines, compilation books, et cetera, et cetera. So it seemed like a good transition from doing poetry to novels, which I hope to have one of those out in the very near future.
Oh, we want to give you isn't that their applause for poetry?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm more of a, well, you've seen what I do.
Okay.
It's dark.
We'll get both of them then.
It's funny. That's my style of poetry for the most part too. It's stuff like an ode to prune juice and ode to a dead rat rotting in the sewer, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I just remember that people would snap when I say it.
Yeah.
Poetry. So we'll give you a hands and a snap, clap and a snap. There you go. You always gotta be looking at me like I'm stupid.
I'm sorry, Chad. He embarrasses me sometimes.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Take it anywhere.
I'm glad you know him at least, because if you didn't know him, you'd probably just be like, "What the heck, guys? What have I got myself into here?"
He already knew coming on.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
So this book is available. Where is this? Where's The Nightmare After Christmas available? I know it's on Amazon.
Yep. Right now, it's exclusively on Amazon.
Okay, exclusively on Amazon.
Paperback and Kindle, so you can get either or, and it's available on Kindle Unlimited as well. But yeah, I signed an exclusive deal with them as far as ebook publishing. I got a really good royalty deal by doing that, so I figured why not. But I am going to, yeah. So I am going to be approaching a lot of my local bookstores, hopefully starting this weekend, and I'm gonna see if I can talk anybody into stocking it physically.
So is Amazon, are they actually like printing it for you and everything?
Yeah, they've got a self-publishing platform that's pretty good. I'd looked into it before, and so when I was ready to run the race with this one, I went back to them, and they've only improved. Well, for the most part, there's a couple of little headaches there, but we worked through them, so it's all good. But yeah, no, it's been a really good deal. They make things really easy. It's a lot more of a challenge when your first book is a fully illustrated book. There are a lot of hoops to jump through that you don't have to do when you're just printing text. You got to get the artwork to fit just perfectly on the page, and you've got to allow for slight variations in how the pages print, and so you've got to have just enough extra around the edges, but not too much extra that it messes up the picture. And it was just several times we thought we had it figured out, and then come to find out, no, there's problems that we have to fix, and go back. Okay, well, we got it fixed now and it's ready to go. No, there's more problems to fix. But it was totally worth it though, because it looks really good. So
Yeah.
It looks great. Angel, she did the illustration is awesome. I really enjoy it.
yeah, she's really good. I ran across her. Actually, we first met in Fans for Christ, which is the Dragon Con Nuga ministry that I do. And she was part of that, and we met. I found out she was an illustrator, and I started talking to her about doing some work. This was years ago, on a project that I was trying to do back then. Well, that project stalled out, and that's a whole nother. I could probably talk half an hour, 45 minutes just on why that project stalled out and how that's affected my writing career. But then when I decided to put the money behind getting this book illustrated, she was the first person I went to and said, hey, I know the quality of your work, and I've got this thing ready to go. It's written, it just needs the illustrations. Would you want to work on it? She jumped on it. We had a really good time working together on it, and as you see, she did just a phenomenal job.
Oh, most definitely. How long did it take her to, illustrate all this?
That's a good question, because I didn't really keep up with it. It took a while, and some of that was preparation. We did a lot of design work before we ever got into the illustrations, and there's some examples of that actually in the bonus score section of the book at the end. And so we started out, talking about what kind of style we wanted to have for the book. So I wanted a Tim Burton-esque style, but not to where it looks like a ripoff of Tim Burton, but Nightmare Before Christmas is one of my favorite movies of all time. And the original title of this was not supposed to be The Nightmare After Christmas. And that was not meant to be as direct a tie to the Tim Burton's movie as it is. But everybody started calling it that, and everybody called it that so much that I started calling it that. I decided, what, if everybody's going to call it that anyway, might as well make that the title, because that's what people are going to remember. But anyway, so yeah, we started out with that, and then she drew up a few sample drawings, sketches. Is this what you're looking for? That kind of thing. We kind of went back and forth on that a little bit, tweaking and figuring things out. And then the same as we went through each individual page, she would, I drew out some storyboards, which I almost included one of those in the bonus score, but I'll probably post them on the website or something, chadsides.com, because when you see the quality of my artwork, you will fully understand why I had to hire somebody to step in and do this. It's absolutely terrible. So it's so bad that I had to actually describe to her with words what I had tried to draw, because she couldn't tell what it was. It's like, well, no, that's a this, or that's a that, and so she took that and drew up a sketch based on that, threw some of her own ideas in there, and so a lot of the visual jokes are her ideas, and then some of them started with her, and then I jumped in and said, okay, well, this gave me this inspiration to do this other thing that's similar but different, and then she would tweak it to that, and it was a really fun process, real fun creative conglomeration there, I guess, and yeah, it took months.
So I guess, did you had the story written before you had it illustrated, right?
Oh yeah. In fact, after I'd written it, I did a couple of public readings of it, because it's short, it's fun, and it was actually the responses I got to those public readings that gave me the confidence that I needed to put the money behind getting it illustrated. And in fact, I would read the book like at a panel at Connooga, for example, and then people would come up to me after and ask me, where can I buy this book? And I had to tell them, well, the book doesn't exist. But I had so much of that kind of reaction to the story that's why I decided to go ahead and do the illustration. And so I'm glad I did.
Definitely. What I like about it, like just the Christmas story in general, we're getting halfway to Christmas. A lot of people don't want to hear that. We're a couple months away. But the zombie theme to it, and just I'd seen where because I did look at the comments. I think it was I don't know who it was, but it's like reference like if you like The Walking Dead, you'll like this book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I don't know, I really like it. I like you said, the illustration and just the story itself and just how it flows. It's really entertaining. And if anybody like, it's $15 on Amazon, right?
Yeah, for the physical, and it's cheaper on ebook Kindle.
And I really like the reindeers. Like looking at them right here, I think they're really cool. That'd be really cool, like pop vinyl or something. You should like go to the pop Funko Hollywood and get one made. I don't know if they could do that, but that'd be freaking insane.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I am talking to Angel about making some kind of probably a sticker of some kind with the reindeer, because everybody seems to love them. I love them. And
if you could get one 3D printed,
oh, that would be amazing.
And then like if somehow that was possible, and then paint them, you know what I'm saying? The green, the whatever, the sweater, and well, I guess that's not a sweater, that's their fur. That'd be really cool.
That would be awesome. And I have actually talked to somebody about possibly doing some 3D modeling work of the characters, and unfortunately, he's too busy right now to be able to do that. So I'm keeping it in the back of my head. Maybe I'll get back to being able to do that at some point in the near future. But as much as Mallory and I love painting minis, it would be amazing to have, minis from this book to paint, and then, have it on the Cottanooga table.
Yeah.
They're selling books and whatnot.
Well, if you had like a bunch of them reindeer there, and you had the book and you're selling the reindeer next to it, like you're off, you know what I'm saying? It would just be like, oh, that'd be really cool to have, because you'd have the book in your collection, and then the reindeer would be on your coffee table or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because to me, now, as it's not for like little children, but it's not really bad as far as there's not swear words, or you know what I'm saying? Like a little kid could be read this.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't intend it for a child audience, but I did try to keep it accessible to the younger horror fans, kind of a gateway drug, as it were. Get people, get the younger kids interested in horror, because it's got a little violence, a little blood. It's a little bit scary, but it's also kind of funny, and that's kind of what Scooby-Doo did for me to an extent. It just made the world of monsters so much fun that it really kept my interest up as a kid. And I'd love to be able to do that for kids with my stuff, and help bring up the new generation of horror fans.
Oh, definitely. And like I would Treehouse of Horrors, The Simpsons, like
I love those.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are pretty violent.
Mm-hmm.
And if you let your kid watch that, they would be okay with this. You know what I'm saying? With having this book read to them, especially it would make just great around Christmas. I mean, just to have it read, make it part of a routine, and and maybe they would worry that the zombie Santa is going to come and get them if they wake up.
Yeah.
If you wake up, Santa turns into a zombie.
Yeah.
So you better stay in bed, kid.
That's going to be the new folklore.
Yeah. You don't want zombie Santa coming and get you.
By the way, I don't know. I heard your phone ring. That might have been me, because I shared out on Instagram the book.
Oh, cool. I appreciate it.
I included the Amazon link so people can click on it and buy it.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Buy 3 copies a piece each time. That'll be great.
It wouldn't hurt my feelings.
Well, I mean,
buy a few more
it's a good gift.
Yeah, great gifts.
I see this was and it's for your parents, Stanley and Lynn.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a joke. Why's your mom named Stanley? But that's inappropriate. No, I'm just kidding. Is that what they actually look like?
Yeah, that's, I mean, obviously that's
A caricature.
The cartoon version done in the style of the book. But yeah, that is actually, I sent Angel a photograph of them, and that's what she drew.
We can see the resemblance in your chat.
Comparing a cartoon version of your parents to you.
You got your mom's eyes. Oh,
Yeah.
no, I'm just kidding.
She's been wanting them back, but they're
Yeah.
still having an extra pair of eyes around the house. But yeah, if you look at my picture in the very back of the book, they look like their cartoon versions about as much as I look like mine.
So you're looking a little peaked in this.
A little bit.
Little what?
Peaked.
What's that?
Little sickly.
Oh. Okay. I don't know big words.
That I wouldn't say that's a big word.
Okay, a word that I didn't know.
I like the little what is that? A holly? The little three little berries in the little holly leaf on your picture in there. Is that what that is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What is that actually called?
Holly, as far as I know, mistletoe.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that holly?
Okay, yeah. I was just thinking of the holly bush, and it comes with the little. And that's something that stabs you all the time. You can't even walk next to them. Something dangerous.
So you will for sure have copies of this at Chattanooga next year, right?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, this and the books that I'm working on that are coming soon, hopefully, are the reason that I stepped down from running the horror track there, because I'm intending to need a table to sell books and hopefully be on some more of the literary track panels instead of having to focus all my time on the horror track. Although I'll be spending a lot of time there too, because I love it.
So the one I guess call it a novel, Infestation, is what you're working on.
Yep.
And then poems, Teaching the Wise Men.
Yep, that's the new edition of the poetry book. It's something to do for fun. I thought that poetry doesn't sell. That was a hard lesson for me to learn after, having just minor success, but some success with poetry. And so I thought, I'll do a book. People like the poems, so I want to buy the book. Yeah, well, not as much as a young writer might hope. With the self-publishing platform that Amazon has now, it's so easy, it's so inexpensive to put a book out there, that I thought it was a good opportunity to update the book itself, because there were some errors that both I and my editor missed, and they have bugged me ever since. I went over and over that manuscript. That is exactly why I will never publish a book without having an editor look over it first, because I went over that manuscript so many times and still missed just all kinds of glaring errors. So that bothered me, and I wanted to fix those. And then, it's been many years since I published that book, and I've written a lot of new stuff since then. And a lot of the newer stuff I think is better than the old stuff. And then on top of that, anything that was currently in print at the time of the book printing was not acceptable to the publisher. They didn't want to take any chances on anybody else having a claim to something that was in the book. So I couldn't include anything that was in print elsewhere. And of course, that was all my best stuff, because it was in print because somebody wanted to print it, right? That's all my award-winning stuff, all the stuff that magazines said, hey, can we include this? And And so I felt like that my book was lacking the best material in a lot of ways. And so this was the opportunity for me to put all the old stuff back in that I couldn't include the first time around, and nobody is telling me, what I can and can't use.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then throw in the new stuff, and then fix up the old errors. So it's something that I'll sell for really cheap, but it's more just for fun and for the people who have been a fan of my poetry over the years, for them.
Well, and we was talking about TikTok earlier. That would be a way, sit down and read one of the poems. I don't know how long they are. I don't know if it can be read in 3 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of them can. Most of them can probably.
And if you have a theatrical theme to it, like you dress up, like you get your maestro uniform, you know what I'm saying, and just show, because you're playing to the crowd. You know what I mean? A lot of times, you don't have to, I guess, but if you look entertaining, people might stop and be like, "Hey, what?" Like the ode to prune juice. You lead off to that, they're gonna be like, "What?"
Yeah, what's this?
Yeah, and then, it's gonna hook them, and then and hooks available, link in profile, boom. You never know. You never know, because anything on TikTok is just, you don't really know.
No, you don't know at all.
What the algorithm will do for you.
I did realize that you followed us on TikTok, but I just now followed you back, so we're good now. But
Okay.
I noticed you put your Resident Evil in parts. Well, I don't know if you want to or not, but I don't know if you have it available, but they have 10 minutes now on TikTok. You can upload 10-minute videos.
Mallory thought that they had that. I don't know where she saw it, but then when we went to do it, she couldn't find it. And 3 minutes was the only thing that we had available.
Okay.
So I don't know if we've got to unlock that in some way, or
who knows? And
I don't know.
Well,
so I opened up TikTok earlier and it said introducing 10-minute videos, and I just clicked on the plus sign and it goes up to 3 minutes still. So I don't know what the hell going on.
It might be to certain. It might be to certain people. Like you said, you might have to get so many followers to unlock it. Who knows?
Or maybe are they talking it up, but it hadn't actually been released yet? Maybe the functionality is not live. Is that possible?
Yeah. And what a guy on there, Waffler 69, suggested try to upload at the same time every day, or when you upload, so the algorithm will catch on to it. And if you're consistent on the times that you upload, it's a possibility the algorithm will say, "Hey, this person uploads at this time every week, or these days every week," and it might catch on better, where it'll get pushed in front of people's faces more.
I'm all for that,
Jimmy.
Yeah, and also it's great to use like current and trending hashtags, because like you'll see a video that has nothing to do with a certain hashtag, but everybody's using that hashtag.
Which I don't really know. Like, I don't search hashtags on there, so I guess some people must.
Well, when you start to type a hashtag in, it'll say how much it's been used. So like the hashtag FYP is in the trillions probably.
Oh yeah.
Oh well. Right.
But it's a learning experience for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm learning a lot. I hesitated to go with self-publishing largely because I'm terrible at self-promoting. But I learned that was another hard lesson that I learned doing the poetry book. Even though it wasn't self-published, it was with a small press, and they did a little bit of the work to try to get me out there, but most of it fell on my head, and I just did a terrible job with I passed up so many opportunities because I just couldn't seem to get my act together with it. And thank God I've got Mallory, who is helping me with a lot of this stuff, because she's really doing a lot to put me out there and keep me motivated to do the things that I need to do. And, when we go around to talk to the bookstores this weekend, I'm going to have somebody there, kind of backing me up and giving me moral support. So that's a huge boon there for me. But I hesitated to do self-publishing because of the whole, it's make or break on your head. You either get yourself out there or you don't. You've got nobody, no publishing house doing any of that work for you. Really, it was an author friend of mine, David Simpson, who finally talked me into going ahead and doing the self-publishing. Although Jess Harnell, the voice of Wacko Animaniacs and lots of other stuff, he actually had some things to say about that too, and he thought I should really strongly consider self-publishing. So after talking to them, I said, why not? Let's give it a go. Let's give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. And I'm still not sure if the novel is going to be small press, large press, or self-published. But I feel better about it now with self-publishing than I did before, having done the illustrated book.
So how long before you can post it, like possibly like Barnes and Noble or something? Can you get it put up there?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that yet. That's, I'm still learning a lot about this process and what's available to me and what I can do. I do know that if and when I do something like that, my relationship with Amazon is going to change. Because right now, they're giving me more money per book because they're the only ones selling
exclusive. Yeah.
So if it's now on Barnes and Noble or Books A Million or whoever, then I just got to make sure that it's the right move. That putting myself in other bookstores, booksellers is going to get me enough attention that it's worth sacrificing what I'm going to give up with Amazon.
So that's like like an online thing, right? Because like you said, if you try to get into like a smaller bookstore and have physical copies there, you're not selling them. You're selling them directly to the bookstore.
Mm-hmm. So I'll go to Amazon and I'll order copies from them and then take those to the bookstore, and then whatever deal that I work out with them, either they will buy the books from me outright and I'll walk home with the money, or they'll sell them, and as the books sell, then they get their cut and I get my money.
Yeah, like consignment or whatever it's something called. What was your take on Resident Evil?
It had good production values. I thought we didn't see enough of most of the famous monsters, like the lickers in there for 2 minutes. William Birkin is from Game 2 is the big boss, and I thought Neil McDonough did a really good job with the character, but when he hulks out, as it were, it's at the end, and he's defeated almost immediately. So you've got all this buildup, and it's not even that much buildup, really. It's like a C or even a D story in the background, introducing the Birkin family and what's going on. You get to the point where William becomes the monster, and he's defeated in 2 minutes, and there's just there's not enough presence there. There's not enough threat throughout the movie for him. He should have become the monster early, and we're dreading him showing up and wreaking havoc with the heroes throughout, and it just didn't have that. But what really got me, and this is kind of what I rant on in my TikTok video. So Leon Kennedy He is the star of the #2 best-selling Resident Evil video game of the whole franchise.
Yep.
Out of the top 5, he is in. He headlines 3 of those. That is more. He appears in more of the top 5 Resident Evil games than any other character. Chris Redfield, who his Resident Evil 5 game holds the #1 spot for sales. He is the only character that appears in the movie that is in a game that's in the top 5 that Leon is not in. Leon is the star of the Netflix series. He's the star of every single animated movie that has been made, usually sharing the spotlight with one of the Redfields. So arguably, Leon Scott Kennedy is Resident Evil's top hero. In the movie, he's freaking Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, that's the one that acted stupid, right?
Yeah, he's like a complete klutz, right?
Yeah,
The rookie that don't know what the fuck he's doing.
yeah.
Yeah,
He gets,
that's what Jim Jam had commented on, that was just not right. What did you think about the lighter scene where he's flicking the lighter under the table? And I'm just like, that works in a video game.
Yeah, but not. Yeah, it just didn't work in this setting. I mean, it just.
That was my thing. It was just like,
It could have been all right, but it was such a departure from everything else that we were doing stylistically that I felt like that it wasn't anything special. Now, what was special, I'll give the movie this: the scene that recreates the very first time you see the very first zombie in the very first game. They recreated that perfectly in the movie, and it was awesome.
That one, it's like a slow turn.
Yeah, where he's feeding on the police officer and he turns. Oh, that was good. I mean, that was one of the main reasons I wanted to see that movie, was because that was in the trailer, and I thought, oh, this movie has potential to be really good. And then,
Yeah, the whole beginning of the movie was from the beginning of the Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, I would say that Resident Evil 2 was really the A story of the movie, and Resident Evil 1 was the B story.
Yeah,
And that was part of the problem. They tried to cram too much. I mean, you've got 2 stories that fill up a video game, and at the time, if you remember, Resident Evil 2 was 2 CDs when it was on PlayStation 2. That was huge back then. There weren't many games that did that. So there's a lot of story to be covered in the second one, especially, but really in both of them. And by cramming them all into one story, there was no time to get to everything. Everything felt rushed. Like Chief Irons, you find out that he's involved with the bad guys, but it's like 1 or 2 mentions. You never get any details. You never get any development. And I felt like that he should have gotten, and that was Donald Logue, by the way. It was so fun to see him in a movie again. I hadn't seen him in forever. But you got, a really good actor playing this character that is one of the few characters in the movie that feels like he's right out of the game. And he has a good bit of screen time, but they just don't develop his backstory really at all. You don't find out any of the details of his involvement with what's going on. And that's just one of the areas where it suffers by trying to cram too much into one movie.
Oh yeah,
definitely. And then at the end, when dude shoots the rocket and it blows up pretty much right next to everyone, and there's nothing on them. They get no blood, no nothing, and I'm just like, well, I guess that's how it would happen in a video game. I don't know.
That's exactly happened in the video game.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still it's a movie, so you would think like there'd be stuff.
Yeah, that's the Resident Evil 2. That's the final boss, right?
Yeah. Even though it looked a lot different, this version did than the Resident Evil 2 boss, but yeah, it was the same character.
Yes, the train was the whole.
See, I never played the Resident Evil games.
Resident Evil 2 by far was my favorite. I played it so many times.
I play too much Grand Theft Auto.
I can't remember how many
Early
times.
2000s.
Yeah, I can't remember how many times I played Resident Evil 2. And then, Resident Evil 3 just didn't live up to 2. I think 2 is the best one out of all of them. Well, I think I stopped playing at 4.
Mm.
I didn't really care for 4 because it kind of got away from what it was. I guess it went out in the country, didn't it?
Well, it went to a third world country village. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I hadn't even played the new one. Was it 8 or Village or 7 or whatever it is?
There's a 7 and an 8, and they're both really good. In fact, I believe it's 7 that is the only game that's in the top 5 bestsellers that doesn't involve the characters from the movie.
Isn't that the one that is in the swamp?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that, and we got it on PS VR too, where we can play it on the VR.
Oh man, I'd love to play it on VR. I got the Oculus so I could play Resident Evil 4 VR. But when we were looking at VR systems, the PlayStation VR, the hardware, nobody had it. It was not in stock anywhere, and the few places where we were able to find it, it was so astronomically expensive that we could have bought a whole high-end system for the price they were asking for that.
Yeah, the VR2 is coming out like maybe later this year, but with everything, how everything's going in the world, it could be next year. But that thing is supposed to just be
going to blow the Oculus out of the water.
Well, it's going to be better, but Meta's working on it's not Oculus anymore, it's Meta. They're trying to get rid of that name, ain't they? Didn't they own Oculus?
Yeah, they got.
Yeah, they're trying to get rid of that name, and which is dumb. But anyways, that's not. But that VR2, like it's just the lenses alone and everything are just going to be so much improved, and that's where we're moving to. I mean, it's going to improve over time. VR will be in everyone's home eventually.
Oh yeah,
just like most gaming systems. If you have a younger individual, even adults now, they're game systems are in there. Either it's a computer or a console, but VR is going, and they make a vest now. I don't know if you know this, that will actually electrically shock you, will zap you. I don't know how it works, but it seems like electrodes. So with say you get shot, you feel like, instead of like haptic feedback or haptic feedback, you're feeling like, so, and that's my thing. Like eventually when you're playing Call of Duty, you're going to have a suit, and the guns you shoot, you'll feel the vibration. You know what I'm saying? And because the trigger's already on the PS4 or the PS5, you have that where you squeeze it and it has tension on it. So it's like a real weapon, sort of, not really, but and you have that tension. Well, every gun will have a different level of tension, but you'll be in this suit and you'll feel, I think that's pretty awesome, where you feel somebody shoot you in the back. That'd be awesome. Like you didn't know that they're behind you, but you feel it and you're like,
That might help with gameplay too, because then you could, you turn around or whatever, and like, oh, somebody's behind me.
Yeah,
you can already do things in VR that you can never do in classic gaming, and that that really stands out in the Resident Evil 4 VR, because that may have put you off Resident Evil, but that was my favorite game. I played that to death, and then they remastered it, and I played it to death again, and then they did the VR, and that's why I bought the Oculus, and I've played it to death there too. But does it
ever scare you?
Huh?
Did you ever get any jump scares in it?
I guess, but I got a pretty high threshold of scare. So, but what's awesome in the VR that you can never do in the regular game is because you've got the hand controllers, your hands, work like real hands. I would I'd hold my gun in one hand, grab the knife in the other, shoot somebody in the face, kick them, and then slash them while I'm over here shooting somebody else and attacking two at the same time.
Oh yeah.
And in regular gaming, you've got your one weapon and that's it. So just that alone makes the game so much more versatile than it ever could have been in regular console. And this is a port of an old game. So as we get into newer technology and the technology improves, and maybe even with this next generation that's coming out, it's only going to get better. It's only going to get more immersive, more versatile. It's going to be amazing.
Would you say that you have gloves or do you have controllers?
No, we have controllers.
Okay, I thought you said gloves. I was like, man, I bet that was expensive.
Well, they make a treadmill you can get on.
Isn't that like a circle one?
Yeah, like you strap in, so that way you can, like when you walk or whatever, you move, like it's reading where you're going instead of using the controller to move. You're actually walking through it.
And you're standing in like a circle, and
there's
it's around your waist.
There's one of them now where they've got it to now where you can strafe, like where you can actually move sideways, because before I guess they couldn't. But that thing on Kickstarter right now is like $700. Yeah. It's going to launch at like 1,000 or something, like $1,000 or $8, $9. They're cheaper on Kickstarter than when they first. But I was just like, holy shit! But know what? Don't tell them what shipping is.
Yeah,
Man.
Imagine. But
it's like another $100, $200
because it's new. But as it becomes more common and there's competition that comes out, it'll drop in price.
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm
sure Wish in about 3 years from now there'll be a Wish version.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Oh God, that'd be just horrendous. It would come to you and it'd be half the size and you barely get a foot on it.
It'd be meant for a toddler.
Yeah. You just have one foot just moving it around while you're sitting in a chair. You're just dragging your foot across. One leg would be way buffer than the other, I guess. But I mean, really though, the VR, like if you're moving in it, it is a way. Like they complain, kids are just sitting down watching this, doing that. Well, it's a way to get up and be a little bit more active. It's kind of like
especially
the track and field game on Nintendo.
Yeah.
Such a pain in the ass. Oh my God, I don't know if y'all ever got to play that. The track and field where it had the mat. It had the mat where you could run. You run in place. You try to jump. Oh God. Only the reason why I got to play is because we had a neighbor that got everything that was cool. And because we didn't get it, which is I understand why, but it's just he got all that stuff and it's just like, man, what a pain in the ass.
Hey, do y'all remember the VR back in the day? It was a red one.
Yeah.
It didn't strap to your head though. It was like set on the table and you just put your head to it. I think Nintendo made it. It's
what turned people off on virtual reality. Because when that come out in the mid to late 90s, it stopped.
It's called a Nintendo Virtual Boy.
It stopped people from investing in VR. And that's why it took such a long time, because console creators was like, we're not going to make any money off of it. But in reality, it was, we don't have the technology to do it well. That's
Come on, don't. Was you able to see it?
Okay, it was a little washed out, but yeah, I can see there. That's better. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so it really turned people off.
Oh, here's a good.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good image. That's crazy.
So yeah, and the price of it was like almost $200, and it just
now you got to pay $344.
And all it was is like you could play like tennis on it or something. Like you couldn't play a lot of games.
And the screen was all red.
Yeah,
they want them $700, $600 for that.
But yeah, and it actually slowed just the VR tech. Like we could have had it a lot sooner, but they wanted to rush it out, but that's how it goes,
Yeah, I mean it is.
They had success on the Game Boy and thought they could get success on that, and didn't work out.
Yeah, miserable fail. I played it a couple times. I had a buddy that was
You had a rich neighbor.
had a rich buddy.
Yeah.
Well, his stepdad
Maybe not rich, but you had a neighbor that got cool stuff.
No, his stepdad was a millionaire.
Oh, well, you got a rich neighbor.
So he had a Virtual Boy, and I played it all the time. I think I played like tennis.
Yeah, the tennis game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This kid had everything.
Yeah. I mean,
But anyways, yeah. Old technology.
Yeah,
Takes me
how
back.
far we've come, right?
There's a guy on TikTok that has a toy, like a vintage gaming store where he sells old systems, and he's all the time picking people's shipment to.
oh yeah.
He'll pick it.
Can you pick my shipment? And it's like, and then he goes and he picks it.
They ordered this, and he'll pick like they have, all the systems you can think of, and just a ton
It's
of games.
expensive though too. Like,
Oh yeah, I clicked on it, and you get a NES for like
it's
two
to me
or
it's
three-
overpriced. It
$200 or
seems-
$300.
It seems overpriced.
And
And
you get
that's
like-
me. I'm not going to pay that, but you get a guaranteed working system.
Yeah,
So,
Oh, I mean, that says something right there.
and let's be honest. I was watching a guy on. We keep bringing back to TikTok. That's the new social media, but he got a what is a CRT monitor? Is that what it's
Mhm.
like? One
Old.
from a news outlet, news station, like local news station, and he said that he was recycling them.
Mhm.
And of course he didn't, but them are like the highest end monitor you can get, and gaming people love them. Like, apparently I didn't know this, I just learned this from this guy. And he swapped the card out the back of them. But he swapped the card out of the back of it, and because they're like, oh, what are you going to do, scrap it, blah blah. So yeah, and then he got some cables and all this. And like, people were commenting in the comments, those games, like, yeah, there's nostalgia there, but going back and trying to play them, for me personally, does not work. Because the graphics are so bad.
Hmm.
And you have to have an old style television, really, because the HD makes it look even worse.
Mhm.
It's just, and that's why a lot of the gamers keep an old television. Like, what's his name? The wrestler. Why can't I think of his name? That come from New Japan long time ago. Now he works WWE.
Chris Jericho.
No, the other guy. But he's a gamer. I can't think of his name, but he was. They showed all of his gaming stuff, and
Kenny Omega.
no, not Kenny Omega.
He
But-
came from New Japan.
But he went to WWE.
Oh,
Anyways, he complained that his wife wanted him to throw away his old TV, but he couldn't throw it away because you got to play your old game systems on,
Mhm.
because that's the only way that you're going to get a good image. So I don't know. I try to play old games. I can't do it.
Well, I think that's why the remasters and the remakes are so popular, because they are bringing
AJ
some of
Styles.
the old favorites into
he's a gamer.
the modern world, making them accessible again.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Chad, I guess we'll end it here. We appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks
Y'all
for
go.
having me.
Y'all make sure you go to Amazon, get The Nightmare After Christmas, and help
Yeah,
support Chad. And
Yeah.
and we hope you best luck on the future novels and the books that you're writing, and hopefully you get them out there and people just go crazy over them.
Yeah, hopefully so. I'd love it. And if this one makes enough money, then maybe I'll do more.
There you go.
Books in the future. So
Heck yeah.
well, if I guess we don't see you again this year, we'll definitely see you probably in February, right?
Yep, that's the
I know
plan.
that.
Chattanooga.
Maybe we'll have a table close to you or something.
That'd be cool.
Heck yeah.
All right. So that was Chad Sides. The Nightmare After Christmas. Go pick up his book on Amazon. Go follow him at chadsides.author on TikTok. Go get his book. If you get a chance, you could come to Chattanooga in February and get it signed. That's where we met him. Him and Mallory are just two great individuals. They're really nice. So go support them. Go support an independent author.
Yeah, definitely.
Who
Johnny,
loves horror.
check him out on TikTok too. What was his
I
TikTok?
said it.
Oh, you did?
ChadSods.author. I've already done that, buddy.
On this second recording of the
Yeah,
intro
I
outro?
did that at the very first
Well,
part
then,
of it.
what
that
he
you wasn't
said,
listening to.
what he said again.
Yeah.
Check us out at Big Ball Buddies on TikTok.
Yeah, make sure you go follow us on TikTok. Get us to a few thousand.
Yeah.
100,000. Few hundred.
Witness Jim Jam on me on my, talking to third person.
Yeah. Witness Jim Jam
There you
on
go.
his keto quest.
Guess what today means, Johnny? 29 pounds down.
There you go. Hell yeah, man. Keep it up, bro. Keep it up. That's great.
Heck yeah. Feel better? Unfortunately, my Bell palsy ain't got no better, though. My eyes, I noticed when I record video. Okay, anyways. That's all we got, y'all. We out. Peace.
Peace. Peace.